Welcome to Devotional Drops, where we explore the richness of Scripture and how it speaks to our lives today. In this episode, we're reflecting on celebration and renewal, two words that might seem simple, but they're actually the keys to unlocking a more fulfilling life. Today, we're diving into how these practices can transform our daily experiences and overall well being.
Hmm, that's an intriguing perspective. What made you want to explore this topic?
I came across this quote that really struck me. Hold on to what is good and cast away what is worthless. A new season is emerging, and a new cycle is about to begin. It got me thinking about how we navigate life's constant changes and how celebration and renewal play into that.
That's a powerful quote. So, how do these concepts of celebration and renewal tie into our spiritual lives?
That's a great question. You see, celebration isn't just about throwing parties. In many spiritual traditions, it's woven into the very fabric of life. Take the Old Testament feasts or Jesus parables. They're full of moments of rejoicing. It's like celebration is a way of acknowledging something greater than ourselves at work in our lives.
Oh, I see. So, it's not just about patting ourselves on the back, but recognizing a higher power's role in our achievements?
Exactly. It's like that verse from Psalm 118:27. The Lord is God, and he has made his light shine on us. It suggests that our successes are illuminated by something beyond ourselves. And you know what's interesting? This shift in perspective can totally transform how we approach our accomplishments.
That's fascinating. How do you think this change in perspective might impact people's daily lives?
Well, imagine approaching every achievement, no matter how small, with a sense of wonder and thankfulness. It's not about diminishing our own efforts, but recognizing we're part of something larger. This approach can bring a deep sense of humility and connection to our celebrations. And get this, research suggests that regularly practicing gratitude can actually rewire our brains, making us more resilient and positive overall.
Wow, that's incredible. So, it's not just a spiritual practice, but it has tangible benefits for our mental health, too?
Absolutely. And here's where it gets really interesting. This practice of celebration ties directly into the concept of renewal. When we take time to celebrate and express gratitude, it naturally leads to a sense of renewal. It's like pressing a reset button on our perspective.
I can see how those two concepts would be connected. Can you elaborate on how this process of renewal might play out in our daily lives?
Sure thing. So, renewal is described as a continual process that mirrors the rhythms of nature. Just like the seasons change, we go through cycles of growth, rest, and renewal in our own lives. It's a natural and necessary part of our journey. Think about how we feel after a good night's sleep or after taking a vacation. That sense of being refreshed and ready to take on new challenges, that's renewal at work.
That makes sense. But it's not always easy to let go of things that no longer serve us, is it?
You're absolutely right. It requires a lot of self reflection and sometimes difficult decisions. But, and this is key, the promise of renewal, of a fresh start, can be incredibly motivating. It's about making space in our lives for new growth and possibilities. And while it can be challenging, it's also incredibly liberating.
So, how might someone start to incorporate these ideas into their life, especially if they're new to this way of thinking?
Great question. The research we looked at mentioned some practical steps, like seeking guidance through prayer, immersing ourselves in inspirational texts, and engaging in community. But these principles can be applied regardless of one's spiritual beliefs. It's about taking time for self reflection, expressing gratitude, and consciously letting go of what no longer serves us. Meditation, journaling, or even just quiet contemplation can be powerful tools for renewal.
Those sound like accessible practices for anyone. What about the community aspect? That seems to be a crucial part of both celebration and renewal.
Oh, you're spot on there. Whether it's a religious community, a group of close friends, or even an online support group, having people to share our joys and struggles with is so important. It's about creating spaces where we can be vulnerable celebrate each other's successes, and support each other through challenges. This communal aspect can amplify our personal experiences of celebration and renewal.
I love that perspective. It reminds me of the quote about holding on to what is good. Our connections with others, our ability to celebrate and seek renewal, these are all good things worth holding on to, aren't they?
Exactly. And as we navigate this journey of life, these practices of celebration and renewal become like anchors, helping us stay grounded and focused on what truly matters. They remind us to appreciate the present moment while also looking forward with hope and anticipation to what's next.
That's beautifully put. So, how might someone start incorporating these ideas into their daily life? It can seem overwhelming to make big changes all at once.
You're right, and that's why I think it's important to start small. Maybe begin by setting aside a few minutes each day to reflect on what you're grateful for, or try celebrating one small win each day, even if it's just making your bed in the morning. As for renewal, it could be as simple as taking a few deep breaths and consciously letting go of tension when you feel stressed. The key is consistency and gradually building these practices into your routine.
Those are great suggestions. And I imagine as these practices become habits, they start to shape our overall outlook on life, don't they?
Absolutely. Over time, these small daily practices can lead to significant shifts in our perspective and overall well being. We become more attuned to the positive aspects of our lives, more resilient in the face of challenges, and more open to growth and change. It's like exercising a muscle. The more we practice celebration and renewal, the stronger and more natural these tendencies become.
That's a powerful analogy. As we wrap up, what would you say is the key takeaway for our listeners?
I think the key takeaway is that life is a journey of constant change and growth. By cultivating habits of celebration and renewal, we equip ourselves to navigate that journey with grace and resilience. It's about recognizing the good in our lives, sharing our joys with others, and continually making space for new beginnings. And most importantly, it's a journey we're all on together, each of us finding our own path, but also supporting each other along the way.
Well said. Any final thoughts or suggestions for our listeners?
Yes, I'd encourage everyone to take a moment today to celebrate something in their lives, no matter how small, and to consider what renewal might look like for them in this season. It could be letting go of an old habit, starting a new practice, or simply taking a moment to breathe and reset. Remember, every day is an opportunity for celebration and renewal.
Those are wonderful suggestions. Thank you for this insightful discussion on such a meaningful topic.
It's been a pleasure exploring these ideas together. And to our listeners, we hope this conversation has inspired you to find moments of celebration and renewal in your own lives. Until next time, may you approach each day with a spirit of gratitude and openness to new beginnings.